Hello everybody, today is Sunday, May 3rd, 2015. My name is Katie and this is the Nekozuki Knits podcast. And yes, in the last, since I last recorded, which I think was, well, it's been a month, we have actually gone through a name change. We changed from Nekozuki Yarns to Nekozuki Knits instead because I found that Nekozuki Yarns was confusing a few people, made it sound like I was an indie dyer, which I'm not. I'm a project bag maker and knitting designer. So I decided that given the fact that I had chosen Nekozuki Yarns like 4 years ago, as I was starting my shop, I was in a completely different place with what I was producing. So Nekozuki Knits fits us better now. So this is actually episode 10, and this is the first episode of Nekozuki Knits, the podcast or vlog. I heard from my husband I maybe shouldn't be calling it a podcast because we're not on iTunes. But either way, I'm glad that you're able to join me to just have a little bit of a chat and a knit. Why I'm looking down is because I'm actually knitting right now. And hopefully you enjoy. So it is May. I'm very sorry I only recorded the first weekend in April, but the second weekend that I would have recorded was actually the Calgary Comic Expo. So I was there with my niece and we spent all 4 days there, which included the Sunday, so I just didn't have a chance to sit down and record that whole weekend. Just like I told you on the RAV group, I'm sorry for the short notice on that. It was an event that I had planned since Christmas, but it kept slipping my mind when exactly it was, and yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about that after I go through actually all the works and progresses and the FOs that we actually have. Let me just pull up a picture here of the FO from yesterday. There we go. Okay, so works in progress. Right now I do have a secret project that's a gift that I can't show you yet. I got about 5 rows done on it, but it's massive right now. So it's going to take me a bit, and I need some motivation to get it done as well. Let's see, what else? I'm working on, so that's out of Barocco Vintage, the worsted. I'm working on a design project as well, and then, which I can't show you yet because it's not finished. I'm not going to show that until it's a finished object. And then the final thing I'm working on is what's in my hands right now, which are rainbow socks. So I did actually knit one of these during the during the Comic Expo. So I knit one full thing, one full sock actually during the weekend. I started on the Friday, went forward until Sunday. The only thing I did at home was bind it off, and the only thing that needs to be done in the first sock is that it will need an afterthought heel because I didn't want to break up the striping pattern, and I've made sure that this one will match. Normally I do two at a time so I don't have like second sock syndrome ever, but given that I couldn't find, like, the striping was going to go opposite if I did it that way, so I decided that I would actually knit these one at a time instead. Still magic loop. I'm using US 1 2.25 millimeters, and it's the Regia 6 Fodig color, which it's a pastel, like, pastel rainbow is what I'm calling it because that's what it looks like to me. Then I finished yesterday, actually, Saturday. I finished Tyga Hilliard's, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that properly, the Lizzie dress. Let's see if we can actually get that to show. So this was for my friend's girl's birthday. It was her first birthday this year. So happy birthday, Cadence. And that was out of that Manos del Uruguay Alegria, which softened up so much after I blocked it. It was ridiculous. So it was Alegria, and it's 75% superwash, 25% polyamide, which is basically nylon, and the color was A401. But yeah, so there's kind of the color there as well. Really cool story behind the Alegria, that it's all hand dyed by women. It's a non-profit organization, and so each tag that you get, at least with these two that I got, you end up with like who dyed it and where at. Okay, so the other thing I finished, and I'm super happy with this, ha ha ha, Dallas's socks are done, finally. Now, I did actually find out what the colorway was, because I was smart and actually entered this yarn into my stash. It is the Sweet Georgia yarns in their Tough Love sock, and the colorway was slate. Remember how I was debating about whether it's charcoal or slate? It's slate. So both socks, I did these 2 at a time, and this is where I was back 4 weeks ago when I last recorded, and so I finished the whole foot on both of these socks in that time. The pattern is the Simple Skype Socks, SKYP, by Adrian Q. And you can find all this information on my Ravelry page, and I am now under Nekozuki Knits as well there. So, yeah, you can find me there to see all the details. But they fit. They're a little bit tight at the top, but I think because I've blocked them, it'll help. Apparently in future I should make them a bit taller, so we will start doing that. But I have decided I don't really like top-down socks. I will do it when a pattern calls for it, but I much prefer toe-up because I just do. I like even these I'm doing toe-up. Just because I prefer the bind-off. I don't seem to have as tight a bind-off as I do cast-ons. Which, if you have a suggestion for a stretchy cast-on, I would really appreciate it because my top-down socks apparently are tight at the top. The other thing I would do next time with Dallas's socks at least, is it looks like a short row heel actually fits him better. So this was, I just did a slip stitch heel here. Heel flap and gusset. So I think next time I'll do a short row heel because I made him wedding socks and they fit like perfect. I don't know how, considering that they're the first pair I made him. But anyway, so I'll do that next time. So I'm going to do, next pair of socks with Dallas are going to be toe up. And I've got a self-striping for him, so I can use that after I finish my socks. I'm going to alternate this year. 1 pair for him, 1 pair for me. Yeah, toe up, short row heel, and then, yeah, hopefully they'll go better. I don't like these ones bad, but I want them to fit as well as I can so that he'll wear them. I did Kitchener. This is the only time I've Kitchenered an actual heel or a toe on a sock. And it turned out perfect. I was so happy. Well, fairly perfect. You can see that it is grafted together, but it's not too loose. At least it's no holes. Okay, so those were the 2 things that I actually finished. And last night and this morning I sat down and I spun a bit. So this obviously is not perfect. I'm basically just spinning to spin to get some practice in. I love the colors in this though. It was an attempt at fractal spinning. I don't know if I did it properly, but at least the other half of the braid, like I wanted barber pulling, so I'll be able to get barber pulling with this. It's Naughty by Nature, and it's their 80/20 merino silk. It's 100 grams or 3.5 ounces, so I split the braid in half, and that's the first half. So that's about 50 grams. I did weigh it so that I would have it fairly consistent. Yes, $25. Sorry. I try not to show prices. And it was hand dyed by Ryan. And this is, I got this the last trip we did out to Victoria. And this is the other half of the braid that I'm going to spin here soon. As you can see, I basically just split it right here. And yeah, I've got about 50 grams left. And okay, this is a lot more vibrant on the camera here, it looks like. But it does, well, yeah, it's a little bit like if you did a darker overwash. It's true to color, but it's darker. I wonder, yeah, that's closer. A bit, kind of. So I'm going to spin this up over the next couple days. And then I came up actually, and so we're moving in, well, right now they've got us set for June move. At some point. They haven't given us a possession date for our house. It is being built, so it might be a little bit more delayed. But my thought process is that it's easier to move yarn than it is fiber. So I pulled out some deep stash, like, this was my first trip up to the Olds Fiber Week for 2013, June 2013, when it flooded. But I've got a bat, like, I have 100 grams of this. But it was carded by, let's see, custom made for you by Flannelberry Creek Bat Bar. So you got to like choose the size of your bat and then what went in it. So this is wool, black diamonds, silk, and sparkle, 100 grams. And these are the colors that are involved in it. There's a really gorgeous green and blue, purple, some sparkle. Did I say there's sparkle? Yeah, there's definitely sparkle in this. And you can see the silk there. So I'm really excited to spin this. I've had it for so long that, yeah, I probably should before it compacts on itself. And I've got a big bat over there. That's what I just put it on. That was just a good sample of it. So look for that probably actually in the next couple weeks, because I'm going to try and get quite a bit of spinning done here. Just like I said, because I figure it's probably easier to transport yarn than fiber. Okay, so since I saw you last, I did actually add some stash. So the first stash is actually what I'm knitting right now. I had a really bad day at work right before the expo started, so I was like, well, screw this. I'd already eaten lunch, so I walked down to the yarn store over my lunch break, because on the pretense that I did need needles, which I did. I needed sock needles, but yeah, so this was the first thing. Then the other one was a Fleur Mania again. I'm super excited for this one because it's pink and purple. And that's actually fairly true to color because it is eye-searing pink and darker purple. So anyway, this is Regia Fleur Mania color. Apparently I'm on a Regia kick, and well, it seems like a really workhorse yarn, so I'm excited for that. We'll see how well these last. Color is the exciting 889, it looks like. Or no, 7185. Sorry, 889 would be the dye lot. And it's 4 fadig. So I'm assuming fadig probably means plies. I would assume, because like this is thinner than this 6 ply that I'm currently working with. Because this one here that I'm working with is more, it's definitely thicker. Let's do Lala's trick and see. 1, 2, 3, yeah. I think. Sorry, I shouldn't be leaving dead air, but I want to see. Curiosity! Yeah, it's a 6 ply. Okay, so fadig must be ply then, because it's like, that's how they distinguish it. Okay, so let's see. We did that. I have Regia Fleur Mania, and then I got my yarn ink order. So Alicia is local to me, and she's dyeing up these. So this is yarn ink. I love her tags. Yeah, like her tags are fantastic. And this is rainbow, and how this works is it's actually got 2 strands, so I can do 2 at a time, and they'll match. Like perfect. I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, so I'm super excited to knit those. This came after my after I bought this, or else I would have cast this on for Expo. But anyway, it's rainbow, that's the colorway, sorry. It's a merino nylon fingering 2 ply, 463 yards, 75 merino, 25 nylon. Sorry, 75%, 25%. But yeah, it's gorgeous. Like, oh, that's fairly true to color right there. This is like, there we go, yeah. Sorry, my lighting here always varies, but it's just gorgeous and I cannot wait to knit it. And then the other one, so more yarn ink. This is a gradient. I got 2 skeins because this is going to be part of a design, which you'll see soon enough. And it's sparkly. See the sparkle? Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. And this is Mint Gradient Sparkle DK, 4 ply DK weight. And it is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. And I love it. I love how she like caked it 2 directions too, because that's perfect. Because I am going to be using both cakes at once from each end. And it smells really good. Okay, and then let's see. So, and I actually got lots of reading done. I finished the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy by Laini Taylor. And then I read Valley of Amazement by Amy Tan. And I also read an omnibus of XXX Holic by Clamp, which is a manga. And right now, I'm actually reading the Dungeons and Dragons character guide, because we're supposed to be starting a campaign probably after we move, or at least a game. I guess not a campaign necessarily. So that's what I'm reading right now. And I'm going to pause here because my camera is flashing that I'm almost at my 15-minute limit. But I do have a little bit more information for you, so just hang on. Alright, so miscellaneous. We went to Comic Expo. To be honest, for their 10th anniversary, I was slightly disappointed. I thought that there would be a lot more going on. But it was a good first year to take my niece. She's 14, so it was a good break-in days. Exhausting as usual. I don't know how, but it's like you have shorter days there than I have shorter days there than I do at Disney, and I'm so much more exhausted afterwards. It's ridiculous, but it was really good. Neil Patrick Harris was there, so that was cool to see on Friday, and then we went to Arthur Darville's panel on Saturday, and then Sunday was Haley Atwell, who's Agent Carter. And yeah, that was really cool. I got her autograph, which was neat, and my niece actually did a photo op with Haley Atwell. She's so tall, I couldn't believe it. Like, my niece comes up to like here on me now, and like on Haley Atwell she was like here, so she must have, unless she was wearing heels, she's like a good, like Haley Atwell's a good 3 to 4 inches taller than me. And I'm 5'8", so I'm not short. So that was really cool. Yeah, I wasn't too impressed, but I know that my niece really enjoyed it. And now it makes a really easy Christmas gift for the next few years. It will be easier next year because we'll be living out where she is, and I won't have to drive like an hour extra every day back and forth because we'll be right across the road from each other, actually. Well, across a highway, but 5 minutes apart. Really busy. Apparently they had record-breaking numbers again, and yeah, and I think if I had been more into like Walking Dead, I think I would have been more impressed because a lot of their guests this year were Walking Dead people, so I think that would have helped as well for me. But you know, it's still good to go. Supported some local people, local businesses, which is always nice. I got a really cool print actually, which is right behind me here. Sorry, I'm half packing, half not, so a bunch of stuff is just a mess. But this is so cool. So this is the style is ukiyo-e, which is woodblock print style, like old Japanese ones, which you can notice. This was by, I don't know her name. I know her Tumblr name is noisymouse.tumblr.com, or you can find her at noisymouse.ca. And I was just reading up on the process, and what she said that she did was, this was originally fairly muted, but that then she put the bright colors in, and I think that makes all the difference, actually. I love it. It's so cool. It's totally going up in my new craft room. And she had a really cool Agent Carter sticker too, which I also got from me and my sister-in-law. So yeah, I love it. I love all the little details, like on her skirt is the kanji for moon, or her obi. Her skirt or train is actually bunnies because it's usagi. And then someone else has, oh yeah, and then Rei over here on her priestess, like Haori, has fire. So yeah, so I love it. It's gonna go up in my craft room. So cool. And different too. I like different fan art because I find a lot of stuff gets repetitive. Not much else is going on. We've gone and seen the house. They've got primer up, and they've got so the next steps that they were doing were paint, and they had the subfloor down for tile, so that's exciting. And what else were they doing? They had all our cabinets were in, and I think they had all the doors on. They had most of them on, at least. And then I think the next step there was, they hadn't installed the counters yet, but they're granites. I don't think they're going to do that until they paint, probably. But yeah, we have a wine rack up, which is fantastic. Super excited for that. My craft room looks amazing, and we are plotting out how we're going to actually like set it all up. I think I'm going to end up with, so this is going to move with us, my IKEA shelf here. And I've got a couple drawers right here, which are kind of off screen. And I think I'm going to actually take those out so that I have a couple extra shelves. And then I think I'm going to add a couple cubes because we're going to get a cat once we move. And there is a window in the room. So I think under the window and then like over in the corner, we're going to put a couple cubes, and then I can put fiber above that. And, or hanging space, or my ironing board. I'm not sure. I want a fold down ironing board instead of this one that's always up behind me. So that I can go up and down as I need it. We're also going to add a cutting table, because the biggest thing that I find that's time consuming right now is I have to clear off my sewing table to do my cutting, and then clear off the cutting side of it so that I can sew, and that's time consuming. And I also want a bigger cutting mat so that it's not so like right on the edge for my dimensions. Yeah, that's all that's exciting. Dallas comes home on Tuesday and it's his birthday on Wednesday, so we're going to celebrate that this week. There are some personal changes that at this point I'm not going to talk about. We're going to see how this goes, but you will see me more active here, like on Instagram and stuff during the week, and updates will start being more frequent because I've come into some time, and I'm hoping that I can put it to good use. Yeah. Well, I may as well tell you. I quit my job. So I will be working full-time from home, starting now. I actually finished on April 30th. And that's part of the reason why I haven't been very active in the last few weeks, is because I've actually been training my replacement. And, so yeah, I'm working full-time from home. So hopefully I can make a go of this, and obviously if I need it, I will make sure that I have a part-time job or whatever I need, but it will be out in Cochrane instead of having to commute to Calgary and all of that. But yeah, I'm already really enjoying it. I can feel like just my stress level has like dissipated completely here in the last couple of days even, and I imagine that that's going to get even better as I go here. That's part of the reason why I have so much this week to actually show you, because I actually like spun, and I will be cross-stitching, and I'll just have time, like, instead of trying to compete with my leisure hobbies, my business can actually get the time and care that it needs, and I can start like experimenting with some stuff that I've been thinking about and have been wanting to pursue but just haven't had the time for. So as you can see, I actually have a couple bags done. And then there's the needle stashers over here that aren't quite finished. They're not quite ready to go up, but they will be going up here soon. Yeah, so we'll see how this goes. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Hope you guys all like my product enough and my knitwear designs and everything that I can actually stay at home. The big part of it as well is so that I can spend time with Dallas, because like he's only home half the time, literally. And he's heading into overtime season again. So being able to spend time with him during the week will be so much better, so much less stressful than it was, because I barely had any time with him as I was working, because I worked 9 to 5. It took me 45 minutes to get home, so I wasn't home till 6, and then you go to bed at 10. So there's like 4 hours per night, and then the weekend. And when you're only, like, he's only home for a week, like, that's cut in half. So yeah, I'm definitely ready for this transition, and I'm really excited for it. Terrified, but excited. So I hope you guys all are here to support me. I know you are. The knitting community is fabulous, and this is not a call to come buy all of the things, but just to let you know that I will be more active, and I might even start recording each week. I'm not 100% sure on that. Still depends on my schedule, but because when Dallas is home, then I'm busy with him, which should be expected, I think. So on that note, I will have a shop update. However, I will be going by 9 to 5 schedule. So the next shop update will be Monday, May 18th at 10 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. So daylight savings, which is 12 noon Eastern Daylight Savings. So if you're on Central or you don't do daylight savings time, adjust accordingly. So that will be happening that day. I figured that was probably a good day and time since it's the May long weekend in Canada. So most people are off, and can have a little bit of a sleep in, or whatever needs to be done in the morning, and then there'll be shop update. A couple things that'll be added that I finished last night. I'm going to have doggy prints. Well, there'll be one of these. This fabric was really hard to cut, so there'll be one of these. And then there'll be one of the wedge bags like this, and then there's going to be a large one of this, I think, too. Yes, there's fabric over there for large ones. I just haven't gotten there yet. Again, same thing. Hang it by your wrist. However you want. Cabiner. Cabiner? Yeah, cabiner. But yeah, I love this print. It's Japanese fabric. It's nice and like, it's linen-y. I think it's 100% cotton, but it feels like linen and cotton blend because it's a little bit thicker. And just like all my bags, they're lined and interfaced. And the nice thing is any of these wedge bags, any size, you can actually fold over, and it's big enough. All of these are big enough for an accessory slash sock. This one's a little bit tight on the DK weight skeins, but it's definitely designed for sock weight projects more. But like, they're just snug in there, and as you work on it, like, you have space then for your project up top. That's what I actually use all the time. I have mine right here. What's in here? Oh, my wallet's in there. But yeah, so there's space in there for that, and then I can do 2 at a time as well. Actually, this held my current design project, which is a cardigan, up until I started adding sleeves. So that gives you a pretty good indication that it's not just a sock sack. Definitely for accessories as well. And the nice thing is I make sure that there's tabs so that you can open and close it nice and easy. So, come and chat over in the RAV group. I would love to hear from you all during 2 weeks that I'm actually away from recording. I do announce everything happening in that thread, so like any test knitting, any sales, events, etc., etc. And chatter too. Like, I would love to see your works in progress and your FOs, and like, come brag. I'm sitting here chatting with you, bragging about all my stuff. I would definitely come brag about your FOs over there too. Or share your projects. There's like, when you post your RAV projects, there's a little drop down menu to share with group. Share it with the Nekozuki Knits group, because I would love to see it, and then I'll go in and favorite generally. And yeah, so plan is right now I'm sticking to the 2-week schedule because I find that easiest. My computer takes a really long time to process video, so for the time being I'm going to stay to that. I'll let you know if it changes, obviously. And watch out for me. I'm on Instagram pretty consistently, and then Instagram goes through to Twitter, so if you want to follow me on either of those, you can find me under Nekozuki Knits. And I hope to hear from you in the RAV group so that we can have a little bit more of a chat as friends, because I do know that the knitting community is fantastic, and I would really love to hear from y'all. Thanks so much, and yeah, I'll see you in a couple weeks around, well, just before the update actually for the shop, so that you can see everything that's going in. Thanks so much, guys, and have a good couple of weeks. Bye!